The Alpha's Rejected One. Episode 9. Willow. Warmth danced along my face, scrunching my nose and rolling over, pulling the blanket up to my chin, and snuggling down in the pillow. It made a crinkling sound as something crunched against my cheek. Opening my eyes, I saw a white piece of paper. Shifting my hand out of the blanket, I picked it up. "Little one, I am sorry you have to wake up alone this morning. That was not my intention after our night together. Please forgive me, I will have breakfast sent up around 9, hugs and kisses, Link, eek." I flopped myself back, holding the note to my chest, smiling as I stared at the ceiling. My mind suddenly flooded with thoughts of last night. Glancing at the clock, crap, I went to jump out of bed but stopped when soreness ran through my lower half. Moving a little slower, I carefully slid to the edge of the bed, swinging my leg over to a sitting position. Ugh, I got up and walked around the bed. My legs felt like jello, along with how sore I felt. It was a slow trip around the bed. I froze when I saw the sheets. There was a small blood spot on them. Grabbing them, I stripped the bed, rolling them into a ball. Making my way to the bathroom, I tossed the sheets in the bin. Turning back to the shower, I turned the knob and faced the sink. Seeing myself in the mirror, I gasped. There were bite marks all over my neck and chest area. Biting my lip, I smiled, remembering how I got those marks, running my fingers over them and moving to trace my mark. My body shivered the moment my finger grazed it. It was scabbed over already, as I had some dried blood on my neck from where Lincoln bit down on my mark. My breath hitched remembering how much pleasure ran through my body when he did that, how he made me feel. He was so gentle even when I begged him to go harder. All he did was shake his head. "Not happening, little one, I want this to be long and slow," these were the words he used. Goosebumps ran down my arms at the thoughts. It was perfect, he was perfect. God, I got to stop, or I will be all flustered this morning. I quickly took my shower and looked at the time. I had 5 minutes before breakfast would be brought up. Then I want to go see Lincoln. Rushing to the closet, I grabbed some clothes, sliding them on just as I heard a knock. Going over to the door, "Ms. Willow," Tyler's voice came through the door. Pulling it open, he stood there blocking the whole door. "Morning, Tyler," I say to him as he looks down at me. "Morning, Ms. Willow, breakfast has been brought up." Stepping back and opening the door more, I say, "Bring it on in." I hold my hand out. He steps aside as a small girl stands there with a tray. She looked up at Tyler as she walked past him. He just stared at her. She brought the tray in, setting it on the small table. She then rushed out, not saying anything, but her eyes glanced at Tyler. "Thank you," I call out as she races out of the room. I laughed, looking at Tyler, who was watching where she had run off to. "You scared her," I say, making him look back my way. He only shrugs, reaching for the doorknob. "Have a good breakfast." He starts to shut the door but stops. "Ms. Willow, we have incoming," he says right before the door swings open. Heather comes bounding in with Mia Shorty behind her. Tyler let out a growl. "Oh, don't you growl at me." Heather faces him, hands on her hips. Tyler glares at her, his eye pinning her in her spot. "Please forgive Heather's manners, Tyler," Mia says as she pats his arm. Her looks down at her, his eyes softening. Only because you asked Ms. Mia. Her on the other hand, shaking his head, I try to hold my laughter as Heather looks ready to attack him, and he's about to do the same. Oh, you know what? You big oaf, she says as she walks closer to him. She has to crank her neck to look at him. He stared down at her, amusement on his face seeing her standing up to him. Just cause you are overly large and a top guard and warrior does not mean I am afraid of you, so you can take your growl and go, Heather. Mia yells at her. Tyler only smirks as he steps back, shutting the door. Heather turns to Mia. What? He was being a butthead. Walking over, she sits down next to me. Mia comes over as well. Heather, you need to control your mouth. One day, someone going to kick your butt for things you say, and why would you poke at Tyler? He could crush you with one hand. Heather waves her hand at her with a puff. Please, he's nothing but an oversized teddy bear. We heard a cough from outside the door. I looked at her, raising my brow. Teddy bear. Yet, you know they always say the larger they are, the more cuddly they are. Another cough was heard. Mia held her hand up. Okay, I highly doubt Tyler wants to be referred to as a teddy bear, so can we drop it? Heather just shrugged her shoulders, popping some fruit in her mouth. Mia looked at me as she shook her head at Heather. So, how did it go? I talked to Mia about how I felt and how ready I was to go with Lincoln. I was worried he wouldn't want to, which I thought so at one point when he pulled back from me, but he was concerned for me. He was so sweet and always put my needs first. Good, I said, tipping my head down, knowing my cheek was probably burning red. She dropped down, looking at my face. I tried to hit my cheeks. Oh, I would say better than just good, she squealed, grabbing my wrist and making me look up. Oh yeah, it was definitely good, she laughed. I smacked her hand away. Shut up, you. I see you and Lincoln finally jumped each other bones. God, Heather, please stop listening to River talk. Mia rubs her temple. What? I could have said, stop. No. Mia and I yelled at her, making her shut up, but she just chuckled. See, using River terms sounds better, right? She pops a strawberry in her mouth. You are horrible, Mia says to her. Heather gives her the most cheesy smile. Yes, but you love me. She bats her eyes at Mia. They had become so close since we arrived here, and Mia had become Heather's big sister. You could see how much Mia loved Heather. Anyways, Mia looks back at me. Was it what you expected? Smiling as I covered my cheek. My God, Mia, it was perfect, and he was so sweet. I spent the next hour talking to them both. Heather would put her fingers in her ears, saying she didn't want to hear about her other brother's life. We just laughed at her cause I did not even give details. She was just being dramatic. I wasn't going to share those parts with them. You just wait till you find your mate, Mia tells her as we walk out the door. Lord help whoever her mate is, Tyler says as we step past him. What's that to mean? Heather fires at him. He looks down at her. He says nothing, only shakes his head. Whatever. Heather brushes him off. Tyler, do you know where Lincoln is? Yes, Ms. Willow. He and Beta River went to the dungeons because of a problem with a prisoner. He should be back in the king's office. Thank you, Tyler. I felt all giddy as I walked down the hall. I felt different somehow, I did not know what it was or how to explain it, but I felt as if I was walking on clouds. Lincoln throwing the door open, it smacked into the wall, making Dad jerk his head up and growl at me, "Boy, don't you be slamming doors in here." Going over, I threw myself into the chair. "Sorry, Dad, I didn't mean to open it that hard." He nodded. "I take it that it didn't go so hot down there." Oh, Milo wasn't too bad, but Lucas flipped out when he saw what Lincoln was sporting on his neck. River snickered, flopping down in the chair next to me. Dad instantly looked at my neck, and a huge smile appeared. "Well, congratulations, son. I guess now you are ready to take over. What are you so eager to retire, old man?" Running my hand over my mark, I could feel the roughness under my skin. My beast stirred a bit. "I think I've earned my retirement after dealing with the two of you. I need a permanent vacation. Now tell me, what was Milos's issue this morning?" River leaned closer to me. "Retirement, my ass. He never heard Dad get up." Stepping behind him, he smacked River in the back of the head. "Ah!" River jumped out of the chair, spinning around to see an amused Dad standing there. "You were saying something, River?" Dad asked him. "Nothing, I am good," holding my laughter as I watch River rub the back of his head, shaking my head at him. "Milo wants to be released." Taking the chair next to me, Dad leaned back. "Well, he was only being held because he was acting like a fool about his sister, and then he went after a guard. We can slap him with a light punishment and let him go." "Is that all?" Halfway nodding. "Not really. He wants to find his mother. He don't want to return to his pack. He wanted the alpha position, but now he doesn't want to return." Dad gave me a confused look. Seems he has found out that Lucas wasn't his father, and he does not want to go back and face them people? Well, I mean, I can't blame him. We do know where his mother went. He hasn't broken any of our rules here, not that I know of. I think moving him along and getting him out of here sooner is wise." "But what about his mate? Didn't he choose Cole's daughter for his mate?" "He did, I am not sure. We haven't heard anything about her or even seen her since the party at the Pack Lands." Dad hummed as he was thinking of what we should do with him. "I say cut him loose. His bond is broken with Willow. Get him out of here," Dad says as he looks over at me. "I agree." River pipes up from his seat. "One less headache to deal with." "What of his sister?" Dad asked. "We can send her with him. I don't know how happy their mother will be, but maybe their father can wipe them into shape." He nodded, getting up and going back behind his desk. "I'll make the call. Arrange transportation for them. I will have a guard escort both to their rooms so they can clean up and pack. I want them out of the territory today." Looking at River, he nodded, popping up and walking out of the office. Turning to face Dad again, "So what happened with Lucas?" he asked, his eye glancing at my mark. I could see how happy he was that I had a mark. "I couldn't take over till I was fully mated and marked. I am not sure what Milo said to him, but they were arguing when I arrived. When I approached Lucas's cell to force him to calm down, he spotted my mark. He went utterly ballistic. We had to hit him with a tranquilizer to knock him out. We chained him to the wall with silver cuffs. He has to know there was no getting out of what he did and that you would eventually be mated and marked by your mate." Rubbing my forehead, he lost it, kept yelling how I stole his mate. She was his first. He almost shifted in there. That man has a lot of rage. He is thinking she is her mother, something. I don't want to delay his trial. We need to push for his to be moved up as soon as possible. He's going to be a handful now he knows this. I agree. I will message the elders, letting them know the situation. Seeing as I am so close to this matter, I wouldn't be able to punish him with others accusing me of being unfair, and I am not looking for there to be any loopholes for him to slip through. All right, I will get with Ryland. I want a group of warriors to tail the transport with those two and make sure they get to where they are going. That sounds like a good idea. Let me get on the phone with their mother and let her know what's going on. Standing up, I heard a slight knock as her scent hit me. Dad called out for them to come in. The door slowly opened as her little head popped in. Her eyes instantly find me. As she stepped in, I was in front of her, pulling her to me, running my nose in her hair. Her face tipped up. I leaned down to place a soft kiss on her lips. The door banged open, making her jump. I pushed her behind me as I was ready to attack. Oh my God! Why do you have to be such a lug? Heather came in, walking backward, yelling at someone. Mia came in, walked to the chair, sat down, and rubbed her temples. Please make them stop. Heather backed into me with the umph coming out as she stopped. Oh, Heather said with a half smirk on her face. I raised my brow at her. And who might you be yelling at? No one important, she huffs, walking around me. I look to the door and see Tyler standing there shaking his head. Tyler. She started it. I hear a giggle behind me. Glancing back, I see Willow has her face buried in the back of my shirt, looking back at Tyler, then to Heather. She was glaring at Tyler, like she was trying to bury him or something. I was about to ask when River came back in, got the transportation set up and ready when we are. He trailed off, seeing the tension in the room. Looking around at everyone, did I miss something? He twirled his finger around. Tyler looked at him. Nothing, just your sister is being mean to me. River raised his eyebrows at Tyler. Oh, you are such a liar! Heather yelled, storming over to him and standing right before him. She looked up, finger poking his chest. Don't you go telling lies, mister? You started it. If you think I am afraid of you because you are freakishly large, you got another thing coming. Tyler looked down to where she had poked him. A smile came on his face. He leaned down next to her ear, whispering something, then stood up and walked out, shutting the door. Heather just stood there staring at the door. River walked in front of her. Heath, you okay? She nodded and then hurried over to Mia, sitting next to her. Mia just gave her a look, but Heather did not say anything. Leading Willow, I sat down, pulling her to my lap. She let out a gasp as her eyes darted around the room. I wrapped my arms around her waist, holding her flush against my chest. I needed her clothes. Dad hung up the phone. All right, that is all set. She will be waiting for them. She did seem too happy about it. Well, they are her kids, after all, River said as he stood behind Mia, hands on her shoulders. Now let me call the elders and get this trial on its way. Trial? Willow asked. Yes, dear, Lucas' trial. We want it dealt with sooner as he's becoming unmanageable. She glanced at me. I wanted you to decide his fate. but we worry that people will say we were unjust and didn't look at it from all angles. We don't want him slipping there and getting a lighter sentence than he deserves. Plus, with all the information those two gave me against him, I am sure they will slap him with the fullest punishment, Dad tells her. And what is that? Execution. Willow. Execution. I repeated his words. Yes, what he did to his pack, along with kidnapping and hurting a princess and future Luna, those alone are enough to end his life. He is an alpha. He is to protect his members and lead the pack, not use his title for his pleasures, Lincoln's dad explains. I understand what he is saying. Alpha Lucas was a mean man. He wasn't nice to anyone in the pack, only those who were close to him. Is there something bothering you about a punishment for him? Lincoln asked as he looked down at me, quickly shaking my head. No, I blurted out. I took a breath. I wanted to explain myself. I didn't like them getting the wrong idea. I do believe he deserves punishment. He isn't a nice man by no means. You can ask anyone in that pack. Even Mia could agree with that. I looked at her as she nodded her head. Then why do you seem against it? Lincoln spoke. His face held anger like I was siding against him. I grabbed his hand, holding it to my chest. I am not. That's not what I am trying to say. He has done horrible things to others. He deserves whatever punishment he is given. He has been getting away with things for so long that after a while, you think he will never answer for it. That is why I seemed shocked. He finally has to pay for what he has done. I have known nothing, but the way that pack was run, I did not think an alpha would ever have to be punished. He always made it seem as if alphas were untouchable. His face softened as he slowly pulled me to him, kissing my temple. No one is above the rules and laws that were put in place, and alphas and lunas are held more accountable than others as they know these things. They are the ones who are to protect the pack and guide it, not use it for whatever personal gain they want. That is the difference between ranked wolves and regular members. I nodded. I understand that now. After being here, I can see how a pack should be run versus how they did it. I am still learning and have a long way to go. I am not trying to defend him in any way. God knows he has brought this upon himself. Lincoln smiled as his eyes shined like he was so happy to hear those words come out of me. All right, his dad stood, walking around the desk. Today, we need to worry about getting those other two out of here and to their mother. Hopefully, they will behave long enough to handle the two trails. We still need to bring Holly in, and then we will focus on them. You think they will lay low for a while? River asked. I hope so. Do the trials get held here? I asked Lincoln's dad as he sat beside Heather on the couch. He patted her shoulder, giving her a soft smile. Most of the time, yes, seeing as transporting them can lead to possible escapes or ambushes. The elders travel here, that makes sense. The door to the office opened, and Hazel walked in. She spotted me, her eye fixed on Lincoln's neck. A squeal emerged out of her. She came straight for me, pulling me up into a hug. Mom, Lincoln chimed at her. Oh, hush you. I am allowed to hug my daughter. She grabs my face with both hands. Oh, I am so happy. Okay, dear, don't squeeze her to death, Lincoln's dad says as he gets up, pulling her away from me. She slaps at his hands, but he pulls her to sit on his lap as he retakes his seat next to Heather. There was a knock on the door. As Tyler poked his head in, the group for transportation is here, my king, send them in." He gets up, placing Hazel in his seat. Walking to his desk, Lincoln followed as he sat me in the chair, River behind him. The door opened as 4 huge men walked in. They were not as tall as Lincoln and his father, even River was taller. But these men were tanks. "I assume you have been informed of your orders." "Yes, sir, you will have some of our warriors tailing you. This is a precaution as I do not want these TWP getting away or ending up some other place than with their mother. We understand. As soon as you leave them with their mother, you must report in. I will have the warriors hang around for a while longer after you leave to make sure they go with and do not double back." They all gave a head nod. I lay there as the pain slowly died down. He had gotten dressed, a smile on his face as he looked at me. "Once you can get up, I want you to dress and come find me. I have work for you to do." "Work?" He wanted me to work. What the hell? I could barely move after what he did last night. Now he has work for me. I need to get out of here. Maybe I can sneak out after he leaves. Walking over, he gripped my chin, making me wince. "Do not get any ideas in that little head of yours. You are mine to do as I please with you, so if you do not show up, I will pass you around to my men and let them use you like the little whore you are." His eyes glow red. He lets go of my chin. "I'll be waiting." Walking out of the room and shutting the door, I take a breath, roll to my back, look up at the ceiling. How did I end up in this? I should have found out who he was beforehand, but I needed a place to crash for the night, and now I am stuck here. As his toy, or whatever he wants to call it, he is unforgiving and brutal when it comes to the bedroom. Forcing myself to get up, I make my way to the bathroom. Turning the water on in the shower, I step in, hissing a bit when the hot water hits my skin. I stepped out as soon as I was done washing up. Wrapping my hair in a towel, grabbing another, drying myself off, looking in the mirror, I wanted to cry. My face had bruises all over, and my neck had bits on it. Looking down, I saw that my whole body was full of bites and scrapes. My wrists had burn marks on them from where he tied them together. Wiping at my cheeks, I lifted my head. "No, I won't cry. I must find a way out of here. I have come too far to let this man knock me down. I have plans, and I need to get back to them. I will play nice for a while till I figure out how I can get away." Going out, I grab some clothes from the closet. I don't know who they are, but right now, I don't care. He ruined the clothes I came here in. Walking out of the room, I moved down the hall. This place wasn't super big. It was a simple house, but it was more significant than the others. I saw a man standing at a door. "Can you tell me where the Rogue King is?" He knocked on the door when we heard a come in. He pushed the door open. Stepping in, I saw him and 4 others sitting in the room. Finally, he gets up, approaching me and grabbing my hips. He slammed me against him, and his lips crashed to mine, biting them as he kissed me. Pulling back, he wiped his bottom lip with his thumb, delicious as always. Placing a hand on my back, he pushed me towards the other. "This is Holly, she will be helping us." I just looked at him. What was I to be helping with? He pushed me into a chair next to him. The one guy looked at me. His face held a big scare that ran down his cheek. "You sure she will know the information we need?" he asked. His voice was rough and deep. I am. I glanced at him. Well, we will see. If she gives us wrong information, she will die. One of the others said. He was just as scarred up as the first one who spoke, holding my hand up. Hold up! Before you all get to decide my death or if I have what you want, what am I to be helping with? And what information are you speaking of? I looked at the so-called rogue king, his eyes glowing red. He grabbed a handful of hair, pulling me close to him. You, my little toy, will help us attack that royal pack of no-good lichens. You have been in that pack for years. You know all the ins and outs, seeing as you have been sneaking my rogues in, and if you refuse or tell us things that cause us death or harm or lead us to a trap, I will personally rip your head off. Milo. I heard the cell door click. I looked up. There stood a guard at the open door. Get up, you are leaving. Getting to my feet, I looked past him to see Caitlin was being brought out of her cell as well. Where are we going? He didn't answer. I walked towards him as he stepped back, letting me walk out. I saw Cole standing in the front of his cell. He just stared at me, shaking his head, then turning to walk away. Move! I felt a hand shove my shoulder. Walking forward, I didn't give a second glance to the two men down there. I saw how enraged my father was because when he saw the prince was marked and his scent now carried some of Willow's with him, he was still chained up. At least he stopped yelling. Walking out of the dungeon, I had to squint as the light hit my face. I was taken to the pack house. Caitlin was in front of me as we walked in. The guards stopped, opening a door on each side of the hall. You have an hour. Wash up, change, then gather your belongings. Caitlin looked back at me, but walked in as the guard closed the door, taking a post in front of it. I suggest you take the time given to you, one said behind me, tuning to look at him. Where are we going? You and your sister will be leaving the Royal Midnight Howlers pack. He did not say anything else, and I said as I held my hand out, that is all I know. Shaking my head, I scoffed. Walking into the room, I saw the bag was there that I had brought with me. Grabbing what needed, I went to the bathroom. I was definitely in need of a shower. I do not know how long I had been down there, but I could feel the layers of dirt on my skin. I hoped they were not sending us back to the pack. I had asked the prince if I could find my mother and go with her. I know our relationship isn't the greatest, but it would be better than returning to a pack knowing I had no rights to it. Quickly getting a shower, I threw away the clothes I had been wearing. They were gross. Gathering up my bag, I sat on the bed waiting. When the knock came, I stood opening the door. Time's up, the guard said as he stepped aside, letting me out. I followed the guard that was in front of Caitlin. She looked so different now. She had gained some weight, making her fill out her clothes. Her hair was shiny, her eyes bright. She stood there, her hands holding onto the prince's arm. The king stepped forward. Milo, Caitlin, you two will be traveling to meet up with your mother. She is already aware that you are coming. You will be staying with her. You are not permitted to return to the pack. You must stay within your mother's pack. Caitlin looked at me, her eyes wide, but she did not say anything. Thank you, King Winston, he hummed. As he stepped back, I glanced quickly at Willow. She wasn't even looking at us, her head leaning on the arm of the prince as she looked up at him, smiling. He was saying something to her, making her giggle. Caitlin hands ball into a fist by her side as she watches the same thing. Do not do anything stupid, I link her. Her head snaps in my direction. It's done. Leave it, I tell her. She shakes her head but climbs in the car. Getting in behind her, they shut the door. A driver gets in and, along with another man in the passenger seat, the car started. Then we pull out of the driveway. I can't believe we are being forced to leave, Caitlin whined, looking over at her. Would you shut up already? We are lucky to be allowed to leave. The king could have had your head for attacking Willow, but no, your dumb ass just couldn't help yourself. She crossed her arms, sitting back. After being locked up, you would think she would have learned. What about Ashlyn? She asked as she looked over at me. What about her? She is your mate, you chose her, and now you are not even of alpha blood, rubbing my temples. I don't know, I will call her as soon as we reach Mom. Right now we need to get clear of this, and stay clear of it, she huffed. I think it messed up. How did everything get so screwed up? We had a plan. She rubs her hand on her legs. I don't know, but we need to let it go. There are questions Mom is going to have to answer, like for one, who is our real dad, and why did she lie to us? Her head bobbed. I agree. I am not sure what to think about the fact that we have a different dad than the one who raised us. Well, I have had some time to think. Her head whipped to look at me, and I am done with it. I made a mess of my life following that man's orders and standing by watching him do things. I don't want a part in it anymore. I wanted to find Mom and start over. She looks at me, and I can see her mind going. She was always very spoiled, and this is why she acted the way she did. She was told she was something special from the beginning, and she believed everything they told her. I am no better. I have done things I am now not so proud of. I can't go back and change the past, but I can start to change my future. Maybe Ashlyn can still be my mate. We can work at building something together. After all, we did mark each other. We rode in silence. Caitlin had fallen asleep long ago, and I just sat there watching out the window, letting my thoughts run. When the car started to slow down, "We are here," the driver spoke as he pulled off the side of the road. I saw a car sitting there facing us. Once we were stopped, I reached over, shaking Caitlin's shoulder. "Hey, we are here," I tell her. She sits up, rubbing her eyes. The door opens. I move to slide out. I look over at the car. There my mother stood with a man who looked an awful lot like me. Caitlin got out, looking toward Mom. I couldn't read the look on Mom's face, nor the guy next to her. "We will leave you with them. Just a reminder, you are not to leave this pack," the one guy said as he opened his door. Getting in, Mom began to walk toward us. Once she got in front of us, she looked between the two. The man stood next to her. She let out a sigh. She held her hand out toward him. "Milo, Caitlin, I would like you to meet Ronnie Connors." I looked at him. I thought I looked like Lucas, but I could have been this guy's twin. He stepped forward, stretching his hand out. "It's a pleasure to meet you both. I have been waiting to for so long," shaking his hand. "It's nice to meet you." My mom just looked at me. I knew what she was thinking. I would normally yell and act a fool, but I was done with that. I needed to be different. He moved to shake Caitlin's hand, but she froze and then looked at me. But then she took his hand. "Hi," was all she said. "How about we get going? I am sure you two have a lot of questions, and I will answer them. There is a lot you did not know, and I am not going to hide it from you two any longer." Climbing in the car, we started our ride back with them. Hopefully, this goes well, and I pray my crazy sister keeps her head about her. I am not looking to have any more trouble knocking on my door. Lincoln. It has been 1 week since Milo and his sister left. We have contacted their mother, who says they are doing well. Their true father has taken it upon himself to get them to shape up. She had told them everything from the time she was chosen to be Luca's mate to when she rejected him. She said Milo is not the same. Though once angry and full of hatred, Milo has become calm and helpful. She said he had begun to help around the pack. She couldn't believe it was the son she had watched leave the pack house en route to our territory. I guess he spent some time in the cells and learned his life wasn't what he thought it was. However, Caitlin still has her days, but they can't handle it. As long as they keep themselves out of trouble, we will leave them alone. Dad contacted the elders, who are arriving today to begin Lucas's trial. We have had to keep him chained up. As soon as we let him free, he turns on the guards. We gave him a sedative the other day cause he spent over half the morning calling out to Willow. Cole will be on trial once Lucas is sentenced. He was to have his trial first, but with Lucas acting out like he is, Dad wants him dealt with first. Cole has done nothing while locked up and never fought against the guards. I do believe he has accepted his fate. He hasn't even made any request. He waits in his cell quietly, and never one word comes from him. Even when Lucas yells and says things that would bait someone, it's still not enough to save him from punishment. I know of the things he did to Willow. He will face his fate of whatever the elders feel he is deserving of. We have been tracking that rogue alpha and his movement. We know Holly is still with him. We had a lot of rogues running the borders this last week. We have been working on a plan to raid that territory, but with the elders coming, we had to put a hold on it. I don't want to leave Willow with them around. I hope to have Holly on trial with the other two, but we must hold off a few days. I know if I try and push for it to happen, something will slip up, and I am not risking anything. Willow's uncle and aunt are coming today as well. They are bringing their daughter with them so she can meet Willow. They want to stay during the trial. Her uncle is willing to tell his story of what he knew. Willow has been training hard. She is determined to gain control. In her human form, she keeps control. When she shifts, she can hold it for a while, but she is still fearful. She is getting better. She can maintain control longer each time. I am still training with her, as well as Tyler and Daniels, feeling her shift next to me, looking down at her. She has turned on her side, snuggling her head against my shoulder. Her arms wrap around mine, pulling it tight against her chest. Reaching over with my free arm, I slowly undo her arm, pulling it across my chest and sliding the one she was holding under her neck, making her lay halfway on me. My beast grunts as her body is now up against ours. She is only in one of my shirts. I smiled at how comfortable she had gotten with me. Pinching the shirt in my fingers, making the helm of the shirt right up, I see the bare skin of her come into view. Damn, she is bare under it. Stifling a groan that is threatening to spill out of me, sliding my hand lower I palm her cheek, a small moan leaves her, getting another handful. I love the fact she has put weight on. She isn't fat by no means, but she has gained a little and has filled her out. It gives me something to grab hold of, like right now. I pull her tighter against me. Lincoln, my name is no more than a whisper on her lips. Leaning down, I place kisses on her forehead, then her cheeks. She starts to stir a little, kissing her lips. I nip her bottom one, she gasps as her eyes fly open, mooring, little one, I coo at her but continue to kiss her jawline, then her neck, rolling so she is on her back with me laying along her side, half over her. Ah, Lincoln, what are you doing? She tips her head back, giving me more access, loving my mate, I murmur against her neck, she chuckles. Her hands move to my hair as her nails scrap at my scalp. A groan and half moan left my mouth at the feeling. Oh, is that what you are doing? Grabbing the shirt, I sit up and pull it over her head. She laughs as she falls back into the pillows again. Letting my eyes run down her body, I see her shiver a bit. That's better, I mumble but drop down. Lincoln, her voice shudders, moving overtaking her ah. I move up, locking our lips together. She hums as I deepen the kiss. Her legs wrap around my waist, her fingers gliding down my chest to my abs. Her thumbs slip under the waistband of my sweatpants, breaking the kiss. I think someone has too much clothing on, she whispers against my ear, then nips at my lobe. I think it's only fair, she pushes the band down, I'm not wearing anything, sliding it over my hips using her feet. She pushed them the rest of the way down. Kicking them off, I retake her lips. I love how she tastes, grinding against her, making her moan, her hands digging at my back. Lincoln, please, smiling against her neck, I love it when she says my name like that, please, what little one. I look down at her eyes as I watch them change to black, lifting her hips, pushing against mine. I couldn't hold my groan as I felt her wetness against my shaft. Please, her voice trembled a bit, shifting a bit, my tip at her entrance, I push forward, easily sliding in her. Her gasp filled my ear as her nail dug into my skin. God, little one, I groan out. She was squeezing me. I was only halfway in, but I had to stop. I could feel her tensing up, pecking her lips. Relax, little one, this is the third time we have had X. She still isn't used to my size. Her small pants slow down more. I can feel her body letting go. I am okay, you can move. Pushing forward again, I was finally all the way in, giving her time to adjust. I stay still, kissing her nose, her cheek, her lips. You okay? I ask her. I saw her eyes were closed. She nodded a bit. I felt her hips move. When I felt her body start to quiver, I knew she was close. Her walls tightened as my name left her lips. I was falling over the edge behind her, both of us panting hard, falling to the bed next to her. I pulled her against me, kissing her temple. I love you, my little one. Lincoln. Standing, I watched as the two sleek black SUV came into view down the drive. How many elders are there? Willow asked as her hand tightened around mine. 6, Dad answered her. Oh, she replied, they came to a stop in front of us. The driver of each SUV got out and walked around, opening the back door. One by one, the elders slide out. I felt Willow lean closer to me, glancing down at her, giving her a wink. No worries, little one. Her head bobbed as she drew in a deep breath. Ah! King Winston, it's always a pleasure to see you. The one stepped forward, holding his hand out for Dad to shake. The others stood behind him. Elder Lance, pleasure is mine. Thank you for coming. Dad took his hand. Letting go, he gestured to my mother. You remember my mate, Queen Hazel? I do, and I must say you are just as beautiful as I remember. He extended his hand to Mom. A slight growl left Dad. Elder Lance held his hands up. I meant no disrespect, King Winston. Dad turned his eyes, looking at me. His hand motioned in my direction. My son, Prince Lincoln, and his mate Princess Willow. His head turned as his eyes landed on Willow. He stepped closer. His eyes locked on her. Willow gripped my arm with her other hand, pressing her body against me. I have been looking forward to meeting you, Ms. Willow. I have heard a great deal about you, and I must say you are just as gorgeous as they said. He reached out with his hand. Willow tensed. She looked at his hand, then back up at him. Slowly, she extended her hand, taking his. Instead of shaking it, he brought it to his lips, placing a kiss on the top of her hand. My beast was not okay with the fact he was touching her hand, let alone kissing it. Letting out a deep growl, I could feel him trying to push forward. Lincoln. I heard Dad's voice in my head, dropping her hand. He smirked as he looked at me, just as possessive as your father, wrapping an arm around Willow's shoulders and tucking her against my side. I did not bother saying anything back. I didn't trust myself not to say something I shouldn't. He turned away from us, moving back to stand in front of my father. He clasped his hands together, letting them fall in front of him. Shall we move to your office? My beast grumbled in my head. He did not like this elder. Yes, follow me. We followed as they all entered, making our way to the office. Now, I got your request for the trial. I understand that this is Alpha Lucas. You started the process of removing him from his position as Alpha, correct? Yes, Elder Lance. I had some members of his pack reach out to me about how he was running his pack. He is also responsible for harsh treatment to other pack members, and also for kidnapping Princess Willow, and causing harm to her, and you have proof of these wrongdoings. Yes, I have them all on file, along with a flash drive. I also have the statement from his beta. Would that be Beta Cole? He is the other you have for trial as well. Yes, he has committed crimes as well. I did read where he has a murder charge on him. I do believe it was Alpha Lucas's brother. Yes, he is also the one who tortured Willow when she was back at the pack with them. He is reasonable for the condition my son and his beta found her in the night they attended a birthday party there. Very well. He turned his attention to Willow. I am to assume you are able and willing to testify to all of these charges and can share your side of what happened. She glanced up at me. I gave her a nod, looking back at him. Yes, good. He clapped his hands together. I want to start the trial for Alpha Lucas tomorrow morning. I would like to review all this proof you say you have and have the others review it as well. I have it all ready to go on the computer, and the hard copies are set up on the table over there. Dad nodded his head to the side. Perfect. He stood up and walked over to the files on the table. Picking up one, he skimmed through it, his eye lifting from the paper. As they locked on Willow, setting the file back down on the table, I think I would like to speak with Ms. Willow in private. Why? It left my mouth before he could say anything else. He looked over at me with a raised brow. I do not have to explain my request to you, young prince. Standing up as my beast clawed under my skin. You may be an elder, but you do not order or my mate. You may be here to hold the trial as we cannot pass judgment because it is personal to us, but your rule does not trump my father's authority. Due to the trauma my mate has been through, she will not now or later be left alone with any of you elders. I know my eyes are glowing. I could feel the itch to shift as my beast was close. I felt my canines elongate, tingles ran up my arm. Lincoln, her soft voice pulled my attention from him. Looking down at her, what is it, little one? My voice was deeper than usual. Calm down, please. Her eyes held mine as her scent seemed to grow stronger at that moment. I felt my beast pull back as she stared at me. Her eyes swirled with hints of gold. My body moved on its own as I sat beside her. Her eyes never left mine, and I felt her finger entwine with mine. Well, now, I heard him speak, snapping out of my trance. Looking at him, he crossed his arms, staring at us. That was something. I know mates can calm each other, but to put you, your mate, into a trance like that is something I have not seen in a long time. He smiled as he looked between Willow and me. I raised my brow at him. He turned, looking at the others. King Winston, would you happen to have rooms ready for the others to retire for the day? I would like to speak to Lincoln and Willow. I can show them. Mom jumped up, walking towards the door. Please follow me. Looking at Elder Lance, with one nod, they all filed out behind my mother. King Winston, if you wouldn't mind. Dad looked at him, cocking his brow. I will not step out. These are my children. I will join this conversion. Elder Lance sucked in a breath. As you wish, my grace. He walked over and sat. First off, I will give you credit, young prince. It seems you know of your rights, your statutes, and the rights you hold. I would like to speak with you three as to what I witnessed. I looked at Dad. He shook his head. Now, Willow, your scent seemed very different to me when we met outside. It seems you are a newly shifted Lincoln, am I right? She looked at me. I guess I only shifted a few weeks ago. And how old are you? I am 18. His brow rose at her words. Really? I would have pegged you for maybe 16 or 17 areas. Are you the smallest in your family? I am an only child. My parents did not have any others, and you were born into a werewolf pack? But you shifted into a Lincoln. Yes, that's very interesting. I am guessing you were born wolfless? Or did you not gain a wolf when you returned 18? No, I could hear her voice waver. So, the moon goddess gifted you a Lincoln. Snapping my eyes from Willow to him, he just smiled. I am an elder young man. I know some who were gifted a Lincoln to compensate for not receiving a wolf. It is the moon goddess's way of saying sorry. Even she can make mistakes. Is that a problem? Dad asked him, as he was not sure either where he was going with this. No, not at all, but normally, they are just normal regular lichens. His eyes bored into Willow as she shifted in her seat. I knew where he was going now. He knew about her. What are you implying? Dad asked him. She is a white Lincoln. They are gifted with certain powers, mostly elements such as wind, water, and earth. Some even possess fire, but some do have other powers, like the power to overcome someone, just as she did you a few minutes ago. Willow. Do you really think he won't try anything? I asked Lincoln. We had returned to our room. My uncle and Annette would be here in about an hour or so. Lincoln wanted us to take a break. We spoke with Elder Lance for a while longer. I did not know what to say when he admitted to knowing I was a white Lecan. Fear was the first thing to rip through me. Only those close to us knew about me. That and Lincoln's father was still collecting any information he could find on white Lycans. I am not sure what to think of him. He sits on the bed next to me. He hides one hand but then shows another. He keeps testing me, making my beast stay on edge, pulling my knees up, wrapping my arms around them, hugging them to my chest. Lincoln shifts, coming in front of me, his hands on my arms. Hey, you don't need to worry, I won't let him do anything, I just want it to all stop. When will it? Cupping my face, leaning his forehead against mine. I promise soon, little one, we just need to get through these trials. What about Holly? She is still out there. I heard you guys talking. She is in the rogue territory. Lifting his head from mine, he just looked at me. I overheard you and Rive the other day. That and Heather is nosy. He just nodded as he smiled. Yes, we know where she is. But I haven't given the order to go in until the elders leave, and with my beast not liking that Lance, I won't leave your side. I will stay with you through the whole thing. I don't think my Lecan likes him much either. I could swear I heard a continuing growling in my head. I was starting to get a headache. There was a knock. Lincoln gets up, walks over, opens the door. Willow's uncle and aunt are here. I could hear River's voice. Jumping off the bed, I came to stand in the doorway. Your uncle and they have arrived. You want to go down now or wait a little? Can we go now? Of course, come on, let's go. He held his arm out for me, looping my hair with his, and we began to walk with River. So, how did it go with the elder? River asked as he peeked down at me. That bad? He said before I could get any more out. Elder Lance knows Willow is a white Lecan. He knew a lot about how she ended up with a Lecan, but I do not trust him. My beast wants to claw his face off. Lincoln spoke super low, just enough for River to hear him. You think he's going to cause trouble? Wait, how did he find out? He angered me. I was about to shift, and Willow calmed me down, but I guess she used a power she didn't know she had, and he saw what she did, and he plans to do something. Nothing, according to him. He will share all the information he knows about her powers with us so we can help her. But my beast still don't like him. He seems like he is hiding something. Lincoln looked at River. We will keep an eye on him. Elders are sneaky in my book, Willow. My uncle's voice pulled my attention from the two I was walking with. Uncle Jake. I ran to him as he scooped me up in a hug. A deep growl had him putting me down. Sorry. My uncle spoke as he held me at arm's length. Willow, looking past my uncle, I saw my aunt moving toward her. She pulled me in for a hug. Pulling back, she turned. Willow, I would like for you to meet our daughter Fiona. Looking at the girl standing next to my aunt, I was in awe. She was tall, with long blonde hair that came to mid-back. Her eyes were the lightest blue I have ever seen, skin so clear looking. She had a good build. You could see she trained hard. Shaking my head, I held my hand out. It's a pleasure to meet you, Fiona. She looked at my hand. Letting out a PFF, she suddenly grabbed me, hugging me. I am happy to meet you, Willow. Pulling back, I could see emotions swirling in her eyes. I am sorry I wasn't there when you came to the pack house. I have been at Alpha training for the past few months, it is okay. I really didn't show up in my best appearance, I would have loved to sink my claws into that Alpha, her eyes flashing yellow, Fiona. My aunt calls her name, looking at her mom. Sorry, she mumbles, why don't you guys come in? If you want to take your bags up, I have rooms ready for you. We can gather out back then and talk, catch up a bit, Lincoln tells them as he steps forward, sliding an arm around my waist. Lance. I can't believe I found another white Lincoln. I was beginning to give up hope. I thought I was the only one left, that's why I was so drawn to her when I first saw her. I can feel her Lincoln is inexperienced, and her powers haven't reached their full potential, but with time and training, they will. I can sense she has more than elements as her power, the way she put Lincoln in a trance, which is a beneficial trait to have. If the others find out, they want her to report to the elders' headquarters. They tend to keep the gifted ones there. They feel they may be helpful to them, or if they can gain anything from having them, they will place her there as well. Of course, they know of me. They discovered me long ago. I have been forced to do things I wish I could forget, but I did what I needed to do so I could survive. After following and carrying out orders and showing my loyalty, I was able to step into a spot on the council, which meant no more missions, no more battles, no more deaths being carried out by my hands. This gave me more ways to look for other white lichens. Not many know what I am as I masked my lichen scent, changing it to that of an older werewolf. One of my powers is that I can change my scent to that of another, Elder Lance. I look, seeing Elder Mark walking my way. What can I do for you, Mark? I asked as I stopped walking. I wanted to ask, why did you ask us to step out? We should have been able to hear what you spoke to them about. Well, he isn't wrong, but seeing as I am a senior elder here, what I say goes, and he is new to the council line, so he does not have the right to question me. Mark, I know you are new to this, but let me remind you, I am a senior elder. I can choose to speak with someone without the rest of you present. This case is a severe case, from the abuse to the kidnapping, along with making his pack financially broke. If King Winston had not stepped in and appointed a new alpha, that pack would have fallen, so if I wish to speak to the main victim, I will do so, I mean no disrespect. I wasn't used to seeing you act that way. You have never excused us and dealt with them on your own. That and the prince seemed not to like your questions. No need to worry, I poked at the young prince. He is so much like his father. In this case, his mate is the main person who was hurt, so he is on edge. Also, I wanted to see if the young man knew his rights. I can understand, sir, but may I ask something? You may. Well, it is more of an observation. The young girl, Willow, seemed like she was hiding something. If he picked up on it, the others will. I need to put this out before it gets out of hand. I assure you she is not. She is still working through the trauma of what happened. I am sure she is just nervous about having to speak in front of the man who caused her a lot of pain. He nodded. Well, if you feel she isn't, then I will take your word. Please excuse me. He walked off, letting out a breath. Damn, that was close. Lincoln. The morning of the trial was here. Willow tossed and turned most of the night. I could sense her worry. I was glad that her family was here. She needs all the support she can get right now. I know they will call her to tell her side of the story. It is going to be hard for her, especially with Lucas in the room. Hearing the bathroom door open, she walked out and headed to the closet. I could see she was lost in her thoughts. I could see her lips moving as she mumbled to herself, "Lincoln, the elders are gathering in the meeting hall." Dad's voice came loud and clear, "Willow's getting ready, then we will be down." "All right, Willow, you soon ready?" "They have begun gathering," I called out as I walked to the closet door. I stopped when I saw her standing there, just staring at the clothes, a blank look on her face. "Hey," moving to her, slowly turning her so she was facing me, "you all right? Something wrong?" Tipping her chin up, her eyes looking up at me, "Talk to me." She stopped, her eyes darting around, licking her lips, "I don't know what to wear. I don't want to give the wrong impression, but then I don't want them to think that I feel I am better than them." Relief flooded me when she said that. Kissing her forehead, "You scared me for a minute. I thought you were having second thoughts about going down." "Oh, that crossed my mind as well, but like I said before, I am tired of being scared, and he needs to pay for his doings." Cupping her face, "There is my strong little one." Pecking her nose, I pulled back, "I don't think what you wear matters. It's your choice. You do not need to be different because of them being here." She smiled at me. Looking at the rack of clothes, she started grabbing hangers. Holding them up to herself, she faced me. "What do you think?" She held a green summer dress with a white lace shawl. "I think that is just perfect, like you." We made our way down to the meeting hall. River was standing there with Mia and Heather. I saw Tyler down the hall. Even though I was with Willow, I still had Tyler tailing us. I did not trust any of them, and I wasn't about to leave any openings for them either. Reaching them, Mia hugged Willow, followed by Heather doing the same. "Guards are bringing Lucas up now," River says as he glances at Willow. Dad steps out of the room, his eyes finding us. "Come on, we need to be seated before Lucas comes in. I have spots for you ready." Following Dad in, he took us to the left side of the room. All 6 elders were seated in a row by the window. There was another table. Willow's uncle and aunt, along with her cousin, were already there. No one else would attend these trials. It was only required that the ones in direct contact or those going to testify were in the room. Daniels was here as well. He didn't hesitate coming. He no longer feared Lucas. His family was safe. Willow greeted her family as we took our seats. Glancing at the door, I saw some of our guards walking in, holding the arms of Lucas, who was repeatedly trying to shake out of their grip. His wrists were cuffed in front of him. Willow tensed when he entered. Holding her hand in mine, "He can't get to you." I saw Tyler slip in behind them, staying on the back wall. He gave me a nod. His eyes moved to Heather, but he quickly looked away. I wonder what that was. I would have to ask him later. I am going to guess and say he is her mate. Heather isn't of age yet, so she wouldn't feel it, just maybe a little crunch on her part, but Tyler will know if she is, just like River and Mia. A throat clears, drawing our attention to them. "All right, shall we begin?" Elder Lance says, "We are here to investigate the charges against Alpha Lucas. He will be granted the right to speak." We will also be calling on the victims and others who are a witness to these crimes." He stood and walked around the table. "Once we have heard from everyone, we will then determine the punishment to be given to Alpha Lucas if we find him guilty." Lucas huffs but doesn't say anything. His eyes are still on Willow. The moment he sat down, he didn't look away. I could see him staring at her neck. Anger flashed in his eyes. He can see her mark. He saw mine that day I went down there. Let us start with King Winston. That was the start of a very long day. Elder Lance called each person up, asking them a ton of questions. His eye would shift to Willow once in a while. He had not called on her yet. The other elders were given a chance to ask anything, and each did but only one question. I watched them write things down as everyone told their side. When River was called on, he told how we found Willow and the state she was in. Willow's body was rigid the whole time. She even cringed a bit when Mia told how Cole beat Willow to the conditions she was left in and how she wasn't allowed to eat unless told to. Daniels told them how she had tried running the one night. He explained how Lucas had tried to force Willow to be his and how he forced a kiss on her, as well as all the work that would pile on her. Their eyes moved to look at Willow, who kept her head down when they spoke of her past. I would squeeze her hand, letting her know I am here. For this last one, I am calling Ms. Willow. She took a deep breath. Standing up with her, I pecked her cheek. You can do this, little one. She smiled at me, giving me a nod. She tried to hold it together, but I could feel her fear through the bond. It was there since Lucas was brought in. She walked to the seat in front of the elders. Lucas' eyes followed her every step, holding the growl that wanted to slip out. Ms. Willow, could you please tell me who this man is to you? Elder Lance pointed at Lucas. However, Willow didn't look at him. She kept her eyes forward. He was my alpha. Her voice was flat sounding. Paperwork show you were not born to his pack. No, I wasn't. He took me in after my pack had been killed. Yes. I read that you are the daughter of Liam and Cass Winters. She squared her shoulder, sitting up straighter. I am. How were your parents killed? Was it a rogue attack? Why was he asking this? He knows who did it. Her uncle told them all this. What is he up to? No, it was not rogues. And do you know who it was? Alpha Lucas. He attacked my pack, killing my father and then my mother, all because she refused to be his mate. So after he killed them, he took you in? Was Alpha Lucas always mean to you, or did it start recently? He was never nice. He made me a servant at such a young age, but then, as I became a teenager, the treatment got worse, and the punishment was harsher. He would give the beta orders to whip me or beat me. Is it true that Alpha Lucas wanted to mate with you? One of the other elders asked her. Yes, he wanted me as a mistress, as he still had his Luna Amy. Did you refuse? Another asked. I was becoming agitated quickly. Dad placed a hand on my shoulder, shaking his head. He knew I was about to explode. Yes, I did. That was the night I tried running, only to be caught, then beaten and collared. That is how Prince Lincoln and Beta River found me. Is it true that his son Milo was your mate? But he rejected you. Yes, it is. He even told his father he was okay with him taking me as his mistress. Would you be able to show us any proof that he was abusing you? Proof? She asked back. My stomach dropped a bit. They were asking about her scares. She still had some, but a lot seemed to disappear after I marked her, pictures, or even scars. Her head turned, looking at me. I could see fear in them. Standing up, I went to her, kneeling in front of her. Prince Lincoln, you can't interfere, one of the elders spoke. I ignored them. Lincoln, I don't know if I can. Her voice wavered a bit. The ones that didn't heal are on my back. It's okay, you do not have to show them anything, but if I don't, they will not believe me. I can see their faces. They are doubting me. She was right. We could all see it on their faces. I won't let him get away with it. Holding her hands, do you trust me? Always, pulling her to stand up. I slid the shawl she had on off, turning her so her back faced the elders. I pulled her close again to my chest, blocking her front. I heard movement. Looking over my shoulder, River, Tyler Daniels, my father along with her uncle and Daniels all form a line, making a human wall so no one can see her. I pulled the strap of her dress off her shoulder, her hand holding the front. Kissing her forehead, I let the dress drop down in the back, but it did not fall off her. Her body went stiff, and she leaned into me. Gasps were heard as their eye looked at the scars across her back from the whipping. Willow. I could hear them all gasp at what they saw. Lincoln held me tight against his front. His grip on my dress was hard. It was only a few minutes, but it felt like an eternity. I couldn't hold the small sob that slipped out or the tears threatening to fall. No, I wasn't going to cry. I told myself I would be strong. My head started to spin. All the fears from before came crashing back. I felt ashamed as I stood there as they stared at me back. My body shivered ever so lightly. Lincoln pulled my dress back up, wrapping my shawl around my shoulders. He kept me facing his chest as his arm wrapped tightly around my back. I think that is enough for today. He stepped to the side, tucking me under his arm. When I looked up, I saw all the guys standing in a line. All held an apologetic look on their faces. Prince Lincoln, the hearing isn't finished yet, Lincoln growled under his breath, leaning down closer to my ear. Little one, go to River. I looked up at him. He gave me a slight nod, placing a kiss on my forehead, his hand on my back pushing me lightly as I felt another arm wrap around me, snapping my head to the person. It was River. It's okay, Willow, come with me. He pulled me slowly as I started walking with him. Mia was up when I was a few steps away. She pulled me in her arms and hugged me. Here, honey, sit down. She guided me to the chair. I felt numb. My mind was in a fog. So many emotions ran through me. I did not want to be weak, but having them see my scars, I felt as if I was on a spiral and I had fallen fast. I felt someone grab my hand. Looking over, it was Hazel. Her warm smile helped to ease a little of the fear in me. I said it was enough for today. I will not let my mate feel degraded in any way. His voice filled the room, making me look up. He stood before them, legs apart, arms crossed over his chest. Prince Lincoln, you know that interfering is against the rules, the one had said. My eyes scanned them, landing on the one we spoke to last night. He wasn't saying anything. He just looked at me. I could see the sorrow in his eyes. You asked for proof, and you got it. Deal with that information however you feel is necessary, but I am taking my mate out of this room. I do not need your permission to do so, we still haven't spoken with Alpha Lucas yet. He has had to sit and listen to all of you speak. It is now his turn. Everyone must be present for this, or we could dismiss the trial, Lincoln growled, taking a step forward as his arms dropped to his sides. Elder Lance jumped up as Lincoln's dad and River moved forward, attempting to grab Lincoln. I sucked in a breath as I could feel his rage through the bond. Elder Lance stood before Lincoln, hands held up. If I may, Prince Lincoln, I will apologize for his words. We are not trying to upset your mate. That is the last thing we are trying to achieve. When Lincoln didn't say anything, he began again, I wish not to upset your mate. I can understand your feelings about this and want to relieve her discomfort, but I only ask if you can bear with us a little longer. I know this is very hard for your mate. If anything is repeated out of context, you have all the right to take your mate out of the room. I can see this is causing her a great deal of stress. Lincoln didn't turn around, but his voice popped in my head, little one. That was all he said. I knew what he was asking me. I can stay. I need to stay, I told him. All right, we will stay and hear the rest of what needs to be said. He lifted his head, looking over the guy in front of him. But mind your words, or I will not hesitate to take action. He turned, walking back to me. Instead of sitting next to me, he lifted me, and he sat down, pulling me onto his lap. I didn't argue. Usually, I would feel very odd about this position, but I needed his touch as his smell helped to make me feel calm. Elder Lance walked back to his seat. Shall we continue? I could feel the other's eyes on me and Lucas's. His face was red as he watched Lincoln and me. I saw him twitch when Lincoln put me on his lap. Now, we will speak with Alpha Lucas. The guards grabbed under his arm, lifting him to his feet and making him walk to the chair we all sat in while they asked us questions. Alpha Lucas, is it true you were Willow's alpha? And you took her in after her pack was destroyed? Yes, yes, to what? Yes to both. Yet, I was her alpha, and yet, I took her in after her pack was no more. His voice was rough like he hadn't drunk anything in a while. He keeps glancing over his shit at me. Is it true that it was you who wiped out her pack? Killing her parents? I did attack, yes, but that alpha held my mate away from me, so I was within the right to attack and take back my mate. I tensed at his words. My mother was not his mate, your mate? And that being? Cass. His answer was short and snippy. Anger was heard. Cass Winters? How could she be your mate? She mated to Liam Winters years prior to your attacking them. He just shrugged his shoulders, not answering, and afterward, you decided you wanted her daughter. I have always had a soft spot for Willow. I watched her grow up. I gave her shelter and the love of an alpha, but she has painted me a monster, and all I did was help her. Are you kidding me? I heard someone say behind us. What can you tell us about the scars she holds on her back? Are they from a punishment? And did you order her to be collared? All packs have a line of punishment they use. She had received whipping due to her disobeying an order, and when confronted, she attacked my son, so she got what punishment I felt was necessary. As for collaring, I was unaware my beta had done that to her. I felt my body shake at his words. How could someone lie so easily? He was making that I was the problem, but you had collaring poles on your lands that had been banned a long time ago, so how could you not know your members were being treated like that? As a alpha, there is a lot to be done in the pack. I had let my beta handle certain things, this being one of them. He was so vague with his answers, like he was not in the wrong. And what about the kidnapping? Alpha Jack's beta had intervened, you chasing Ms. Willow onto their lands. That was a misunderstanding. She thought I meant to harm her. I didn't. Lincoln tightened his arms around me, pulling me flush against him. Calm down, breathe, little one. I felt his breath on my ear. How can someone lie like that and act as if I was to blame? I could feel the tears make their way down my cheeks, wiping them away with his thumb. Don't worry, they can see he is lying. The door opened as two guards, and Tyler walked Beta Cole in just then. I did not even know Tyler had left. I watched them lead him up next to Lucas. What's the meaning of this? The one guy asked as he stood up. Elder Lance stood as well. Beta Cole, I was under the impression that we would be meeting later. I looked at Lincoln. He smiled, pecking my cheek. Yes, Elder, it is. I was brought here so I could clear up a few things and make sure you understand everything. Understand what? Well, for instance, I know what I am guilty of. I will not hide it. I know I will receive punishment for all I did, but him, his head nodded towards Lucas, I know for a fact he will lie and try to weasel his way out of it, so I asked for them to bring me up here to clear up a few things. All right, and what would those be? First, we are both equally to blame for the punishment given to Willow. He would order what was to be done, I would carry it out. I admit I went a little overboard on some. Yes, I took her and collared her, but on his order. He knew of the poles as he had them put there. He tried to force her to be his mistress. He didn't care she was his son's mate first. He killed her parents because he was obsessed with Cass. She was not his mate. A loud growl tore through the room as Lucas threw himself at Cole. I will kill you. Why would elders be at that pack? Shrugging my shoulders, I wouldn't know. I haven't been there. I wasn't going to make it easy for him. Sure, we both somewhat wanted the same thing, but I wasn't willing to work with him. This was my show, my plans. He wasn't going to take the lead. Before I could look his way, I was thrown across the room, slamming into the wall, sliding down to the floor as the wind was knocked out of me, coughing, trying to gain my breath back. I couldn't shift. He had been injecting me with something that kept my body weak. I haven't even healed from what he did to me yesterday. My body was covered in bruises, my head was suddenly ripped back, letting out a yelp as the burning on my scalp from my hair being pulled. I warned you. You are going to help me, or I can take your life. You decide. His eyes glowed red as he bared his canines at me. I don't know. I haven't had any contact with anyone since I've been with you. Letting my hair go with enough force, my face flew forward, bouncing off the floor. Is there anyone you can trust in the pack? Someone who wouldn't rat you out to them? Shaking my head, no, not anymore. Moving to sit up and leaning my back against the wall, I could feel the blood dripping from my nose and lip. Looks like we need to snatch someone. He paced the room, mumbling to himself. Who would be an easy target but would know the answer I am looking for? He stopped to look down at me. There was a knock on the door. Yet, he called over his shoulder. The door swung open as a guy walked in. Sir, I thought you would like to see these. He was carrying what looked like pictures. Turning, he took them from the guy, his brows raising. Indeed, he flipped through them, holding one up so it faced me. Who is this? Looking at the picture, it was of that girl who ruined everything. I didn't answer. I can see by the look on his face he was interested in her. Sir, I believe that is the prince mate, the guy spoke up. Oh, she is so sweet looking. His finger ran over the picture, looking through them more, kneeling in front of me, resting his elbows on his knees, pictures in his hand. Now, Holly, I will give you one more chance. You either get on board and help me, or you die right here, right now. Damn it, maybe I should let him kill me. I wasn't going to get anywhere staying here, but maybe I can get him to agree to let me go afterward. I don't care what he plans to do after he attacks the pack lands. Once he has it, he may let me go, and I can get out of here. It's worth a try, right? I can't stay in the area. I know people will want my head. I want something in return if I decide to help you. He chuckled at my words. What makes you think you have the right to request anything? Because, without me, it will take you twice as long to breach the borders. Plus, I am sure I know everyone in those photos you are holding. I have been there my whole life. I have been sneaking off pack lands for a long time. You need me, and you know it. He seemed to ponder what I said, slapping the photos on his leg. Fine. What is it you want? He stood up. When you attack, I want to be able to leave here. I don't want to be part of it. I want out of the area. Rubbing his thumb along his lip, he squinted his eyes at me. Deal, and no more drugging me. If you want my help, I need to have a clear mind. I pointed my finger at him. He scoffed at me. All right, but remember, even though you are a Leekan, you are not stronger than me. I can still kill you. Do not think of double-crossing me, cause if you do and lead me into a trap, I will hunt you down and gut you like a fish. How do you know if my Leekan is strong or not? Oh Holly, Holly, you by no means are a fighter. If you were, then your Leekan would have been able to fight off the drug I gave you. No, my sweet Holly, you are a princess wannabe. You haven't trained a day in your life. Everything should be given to you, just handed over on a silver platter. Well, guess what? You will never get what you want. You have to be strong enough to take it, and you are not. I felt as if someone had just plunged a knife into me. Yes, it should have been me as Lincoln's mate, not that little bland girl who couldn't even speak for herself. I should have received everything I wanted. I was a better choice for his Luna Queen. I held beauty and grace. I wasn't some broken trash. If Heather hadn't messed things up with River, I would have been in a ranking spot, but I was hooked with one taste of Lincoln. Sure, I wouldn't mind a role or two again with River, but I had moved on to more significant and better things. But that all came crashing down when that horrible girl was brought here. He let out a laugh as he walked over to the guy. Get me more pictures. I need photos of everyone around the pack house, and I definitely need more of her. He held up the picture of Willow. Yes, sir. The guy turned on his heel, rushing out of the room. Slowly, I picked myself up. My body protested. I needed to show him I wasn't weak like he said I was. He walked to his desk, sat down, began to spread the photos out across the top. Get over here and tell me who these all are. Making my way over, I leaned my hands on the edge of it, scanning the pictures. it was off the front of the pack house. Lincoln and his family were standing there, and other people I didn't know were in the pictures. They must be the elders. I saw Tyler in the background of one, then some others had River in them with that girl Mia, along with Heather, some warriors off to the side, and a guy and woman with a young girl. I didn't know who they were. Well, you know who the royals are, so I don't need to tell you. This one is pointing the one of Mia, that Beta River mate, Mia, and his younger sister Heather. His eyes danced over their picture. I wasn't aware that the royal Beta had a sister. He does. He raised her after their parents were killed a few years ago. He normally keeps her out of danger, and very few see her. She is in school off Packlands under a different name. Who is that large man in the background there? He pointed to Tyler. That Tyler, he is one of Lincoln's best guards and warriors. He is Lincoln's mate's guard, and who would his mate be? Is it this picture-perfect young woman, holding up a picture of Lincoln and Willow? I wanted to growl, but I just rolled my eyes. Yes, she showed up a few months ago. Lincoln found her at another pack. He looked over the photos. What about these people? I don't know them. I have never seen them before. I don't think Lincoln's mate has any family, so if I want to grab someone and get information out of them, who would be easier to pluck and still know what I need to know? Scanning the pictures, well, getting to his mate will be hard. Tyler and Lincoln are always with her. I couldn't even get near her when I lived in the same pack house. Picking up the photo of Mia and Heather, one of these two, Mia, is River's mate, like I said. She may know some, as she is close to Lincoln's mate. They came from the same pack, but Heather would be the best bet. She is always sticking her nose where it doesn't belong. She would know about what is going on. Does she not have a guard? No. Heather don't really need one. If you go for her, be ready for a fight. Girl is bat crazy, and River has been training her. Plus, she is from royal Beta blood. She is strong. Even though she can't shift, she can still drop a Lycan in its Lycan form. Oh, I like the sound of her. I love a good fight. Join our Facebook and WhatsApp group for more updates, link is given in description. Rest audiobook will be continued in next episode.